Archangel Michael says, "There is a presence watching over you even now, tender and fierce, mighty and gentle, standing beside you in your pain, in your confusion, and in every prayer you whispered when no one else could hear. You have not been alone, not even for a second. Through all the betrayals, heartbreaks, and the silent nights you cried out wondering why everything around you seemed to fall apart, heaven was listening. God's angels gathered around you each time you nearly gave up, and I was there, watching, weeping, and waiting for this very moment when heaven would finally speak." Type 2121 if you trust in God. The name of the one who tried to wound your soul may not be shouted aloud on earth, but in heaven, that name has echoed long enough, and now justice is being moved in your favor. You must understand, this was never about punishment or revenge, but about truth. God is not exposing them to harm them, but to protect you. You have been walking with so much weight in your spirit, carrying burdens that were never yours to carry, and suffering under the manipulation of someone who wore a smile but whispered harm behind closed doors. You kept giving love, even when you were drained. You kept praying, even when your heart was tired. You kept trying to understand, even when everything they did made no sense. God saw that. And it touched heaven deeply. The Father has been watching closely, guarding your every step, and collecting every tear that fell from your weary eyes. And now, it is time for your restoration. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want God's blessings in your life. There was a storm forming behind your back, and God stopped it before it reached you. There were lies being prepared in secret places, but heaven stepped in and shut every mouth planning destruction. And while you slept, the hands of the Lord moved mightily to shield your name, your peace, and your future. That is the love of God, quiet, strong, and always in motion, even when you cannot see it. You are not reading this by accident. This message has reached you because God saw your heart trembling and He could not stay silent any longer. You have suffered quietly for too long. The time for silence is over. The time for deliverance is here. The time for clarity has arrived. What was hidden is being revealed not to break you, but to set you free from cycles of confusion and emotional torment. Someone around you has not been who they claim to be, but God is making sure you are no longer in the dark. Let peace come now. Let fear begin to melt. Let the heaviness that has lived inside your chest slowly begin to dissolve in the presence of divine truth. The protection of God is not coming, it is already here, wrapped around your spirit like a covering of light. You are not going to be harmed. You are not going to lose everything. You are not going to break. In fact, this is the turning point where everything begins to shift in your favor, not because you forced it, but because heaven chose this day to intervene. What if everything you've been chasing, wealth, freedom, success, could be drawn to you automatically, simply by unlocking a secret brain wave hidden inside you? Once classified by intelligence agencies, this discovery is now available to the public, and it's changing lives instantly. Picture yourself debt-free, stress-free, and thriving. The window is open, but not forever, and every second you wait is wealth slipping from your hands, so grasp it now. Click the link in video description and comments below to awaken this money magnet frequency and watch abundance flow into your life today. There is so much love coming your way. Real, gentle, healing love that isn't selfish or cruel or confusing. A love that stays. A love that holds you the way Jesus held every broken soul who came to him, without judgment, with arms wide open. The kind of love that doesn't punish you for hurting, but holds you in it, and walks you through it with mercy and grace. The love of Jesus is not loud, but it is stronger than every lie spoken against you. It doesn't parade, but it never leaves. Do not be afraid anymore. Let the Holy Spirit settle your soul like the soft wind that brushes the ocean's surface. Let the voice of heaven quiet the chaos in your mind. You have been protected from things you didn't even know were sent to destroy you. And now, God is not only protecting you, He is promoting you. He is lifting you from the place of silence and into the place of testimony. You are going to rise, not with bitterness, but with beauty. You are going to be restored in ways that will leave even your enemies speechless. But not because of revenge, because of grace. Hold on to this moment. Don't run. Don't click away. Don't close this window on your breakthrough. Everything God needed to show you is right here. He is not asking you to figure it all out today, He is asking you to let Him take it from here. Lay it down. The betrayal. The disappointment. The overthinking. The fear of who's really on your side. Lay it all down. Jesus has already gone before you, cleared the path, exposed the enemy, and placed His light in the darkest places of your life. This message comes not to frighten you, but to free you. You needed to know that what has been attacking your peace, your sleep, your trust, and your joy was not just coincidence. It was warfare. And while you were questioning your worth, heaven was preparing your defense. While you were wondering why the people you trusted changed so quickly, God was already 3 steps ahead, preparing to bring clarity and justice that the world could never provide. The person who intended to harm you did not win. They may have planned, whispered, and worn masks, but they could not touch what God sealed. Your spirit is sealed. Your calling is sealed. Your destiny is sealed. No conversation behind closed doors could ever cancel what the Lord has already written in your favor. You've been under attack not because you're weak, but because your purpose threatens everything that darkness stands for. Type 222 if you know God is with you. And here's the truth that will never change: your purpose cannot be stopped. Not by betrayal, not by manipulation, not by fake love, and certainly not by the name that heaven has now exposed. The enemy saw your light and tried to dim it by using people who knew your heart. But light doesn't lose to darkness. Light reveals it. And that's exactly what's happening now. There is a healing coming to your heart, not through explanations, but through divine peace. You don't need to understand why they did what they did. You don't need closure from those who were never honest with you to begin with. What you need is already being poured into your soul right now: truth, protection, and the presence of Jesus Christ, who has never and will never leave your side. Jesus knows the ache that betrayal brings. He was betrayed too, not by a stranger, but by someone he loved. And even in that pain, he chose love over bitterness. He chose mercy over revenge. And he rose again with power, not to prove a point, but to fulfill a promise. That same power lives in you now. That same resurrection is coming to your life. You may have been broken, but you will not stay there. You may have cried, but joy is on the way. Heaven is shifting things on your behalf. The truth that was hidden is now laid bare. The masks are falling off. The people who pretended to care, but secretly hoped you would fail, are being moved out of your space by the gentle hand of God. And the doors they tried to block you from walking through, God is now opening them wide with no one able to shut them again. Stay with me until the end, because God has placed a hidden treasure for your heart in this message. Let this settle deep into your spirit. No one can curse what God has blessed. No plot, no word, no scheme can destroy the one God has redeemed. Your name is written in heaven's book, and no amount of earthly jealousy or false friendship can erase it. You are covered by grace, and that covering is not fragile. It is strong, unshakable, and eternal. You have spent too long second-guessing your worth, your choices, and your voice. But now, God is lifting you up so that you see what He sees. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not forgotten. This moment is not the end, it is the beginning of your healing. The light of Christ is shining on your path, and it will never grow dim. You will begin to see things differently now. What once confused you will start to make sense. The heaviness will begin to lift. The fog will start to clear. You are stepping into a new space spiritually, one where God's truth becomes your compass, and His peace becomes your home. No more pretending. No more suppressing the pain to keep the peace. No more shrinking to make others comfortable. God is inviting you to rise. He is inviting you to believe again, to trust that good things are still coming, to allow your heart to open even after it's been bruised. Because you are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not what they did. You are what God says you are, redeemed, renewed, and restored. And while it may still sting to know who tried to harm you, there is power in knowing that they failed. Their words didn't stick. Their plans didn't work. Their intentions didn't reach you. Because you are wrapped in the covering of the Holy Spirit, who walks with you through every season, carrying your spirit when it feels too heavy to carry yourself. The days ahead are going to feel different, not because the world changes overnight, but because your spirit is rising from what was meant to bury you. You are being equipped now with strength that doesn't shout, but stands firm. With grace that doesn't fight back, but moves forward. With discernment that sees beyond the surface. You are not walking in fear, you are walking in power, in truth, and in the love of Jesus, which never runs out. God did not bring this message to scare you, but to awaken you. To remind you that you are seen. That you are loved. That your prayers did not vanish into the air, they reached heaven, and now heaven is answering in the form of this divine moment of clarity. Take heart, because everything is about to change. The one who wanted to harm you never understood how deeply God's hand was upon your life. They thought your silence was weakness. They thought your kindness was ignorance. They mistook your humility for helplessness. But heaven knew your heart, and because you remained soft in a world that kept trying to harden you, God has rewarded you not with vengeance, but with protection, discernment, and the kind of peace that cannot be bought or faked. You have walked through the fire, and though the flames tried to consume your joy, you are still standing. Not because you fought back with anger, but because you let your faith be louder than your fear. That kind of strength is rare. That kind of heart is what touches God deeply. And now, heaven is restoring everything that was drained from your spirit in the process. You are stepping into a season where truth becomes your anchor, not your enemy. For too long, you were afraid of what would happen if you faced the truth. You feared the loss, the confrontation, the heartbreak. But now you see that truth was never there to hurt you, it was there to free you. And now that the truth has come, your spirit can finally breathe again. You may still feel the ache of disappointment. You may still hear the echo of words spoken by someone who wore a mask around you for far too long. But listen closely, what you're feeling right now is not just pain. It is the breaking of chains. It is the loosening of emotional shackles. It is the divine cutting away of everything that was draining your energy and clouding your judgment. What if the fastest path to wealth was already inside your mind, waiting to be activated by a powerful sound wave? Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it begins drawing opportunities, success, and financial freedom like never before. Imagine the relief of no more bills and the joy of living your dreams. This is more than an offer, it is a divine turning point. Your destiny is waiting, but only if you choose to move now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on this ancient brain wave today. Type 3030 if you believe Jesus lives in your heart. God is cleansing your path. One by one, He is removing what you could not remove on your own. People, thoughts, habits, attachments. Everything that kept you entangled in situations that looked safe but were spiritually toxic is now being uprooted by the hands of the Almighty. And this removal is not punishment, it is preparation. God is preparing you for better, for safer connections, for purer relationships, for divine assignments that will not be delayed by emotional sabotage. You will not return to the same patterns. You will not walk back into what wounded you. You will not repeat the same emotional loops. This time, you are walking forward with open eyes and a healed heart. This time, you are not second-guessing your discernment or doubting your intuition. This time, you are not choosing comfort over clarity. You are choosing freedom over familiarity. And that choice is unlocking doors that have been closed for too long. Type Amen if you believe God is watching over you, and share this video with 7 faithful hearts to bring blessings and miracles to your life. The silence you once felt from heaven was not absence, it was strategy. While you were questioning where God was, He was working behind the scenes, gathering truth, setting traps for your enemies, and positioning angels to surround your life so the moment of exposure would happen at the perfect time. And now, as that exposure unfolds, you are being covered in a peace that will guard you through every emotion that tries to surface in response. Even the tears you cry today are different than the ones you cried before. These are not tears of confusion. These are tears of release. Tears of realization. Tears of healing. And heaven collects each one because they matter. You matter. Your heart matters. And God is determined that your story will not end in betrayal, but in breakthrough. The healing you are stepping into now is going to touch more than just this one wound. It's going to go deeper. It's going to uncover older pain, hidden insecurities, buried fears, and it's going to reach them with light and love so they can no longer rule your emotions in silence. The light of Jesus is not just exposing what was done to you, it is transforming what grew inside you because of it. There is so much more coming. More than you even imagined. More healing. More joy. More divine surprises. And above all, more awareness of just how loved you really are. You will wake up differently. You will speak differently. You will treat yourself with the grace you were so quick to give others. This new version of you is not hardened, it's wiser, stronger, and rooted in truth that no lie can shake again. Stay with this message. Don't rush away. Let every word settle into your soul like warm light after a long night. God is not done speaking. And this is only the beginning of your divine recovery. What was taken will be restored. What was broken will be rebuilt. And what was meant to destroy you has just become the very proof that God fights for you even when you don't see it happening. You are safe now. You are protected. You are free. And nothing they say, nothing they plan, nothing they try can ever change that again. This is the moment where your heart learns to exhale. Not in fear, but in faith. Not in worry, but in wonder. Because what God is doing for you right now is nothing less than sacred. He's reclaiming the pieces of your soul that were scattered through pain, pulling you back together not as who you used to be, but as the healed and strengthened child of light that you are becoming. This transformation didn't come easy. It came through tears. Through surrender. Through seasons where you felt like nothing made sense. But God never left your side. Every unanswered prayer, every night you laid in silence asking for signs, every day you gave your all without receiving it in return, it all mattered. It all carried weight in heaven. And because of that, this deliverance is not delayed any longer. You are not waiting for your freedom to arrive. It has already started. The moment truth stepped into your heart, the chains began to fall. And now the Spirit of the Lord is filling the places left empty by pain, creating new space for joy, discernment, and deep spiritual peace. You may not yet feel the full weight of this breakthrough, but it's already working. Slowly, gently, surely. It's in the way you no longer ignore what your soul tells you. It's in the way your boundaries are becoming clearer. It's in the way you no longer shrink around people who used to make you doubt yourself. And that is not pride, it's protection. It's awareness. It's spiritual growth. You didn't deserve to be betrayed, but even in that betrayal, God saw something more. He saw the doorway to your next level of strength. He saw the opportunity to break you out of cycles that would have wasted years of your destiny. He saw the moment where you would finally stop seeking love from the wrong places and begin receiving love from the only place it never runs out, His. And now, here you are, standing in the middle of your story, holding pieces of both pain and promise in your hands. But you're not breaking. You're becoming. You're growing. You're starting to realize that what was meant to destroy you actually cleared the path for your greatest healing. That is the power of God. He takes what the enemy meant for harm and turns it into a foundation for something divine. No more doubting your instincts. No more silencing your spirit just to keep others comfortable. No more questioning why God made you so sensitive, so compassionate, so soft-hearted. That heart of yours is a gift, not a flaw. And now, heaven is surrounding that heart with a new level of wisdom that will guide your steps and protect your peace. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. Even now, angels are moving around your life, clearing away spiritual debris, removing people who smile in front of you but speak against you when you're not around. The exposure isn't just for drama, it's for protection. You needed to know who was draining your spirit so God could help you protect it moving forward. This isn't gossip. This is grace. This isn't revenge. This is revelation. Type "I believe" if you believe miracles are on the way. And in this moment of revelation, something holy is being restored inside you. That sense of safety you lost. That inner clarity that was buried under confusion. That hope that began to dim because of the people you trusted too quickly. God is restoring it all. He is not rebuilding the old version of you. He is creating something completely new. Someone who can still love, but now loves wisely. Someone who can still forgive, but no longer entertains repeated disrespect. Someone who can still be soft, but is no longer spiritually vulnerable to the wrong influences. Your soul was never meant to live under the shadows of hidden harm. Your soul was created to live in light, in truth, in divine alignment with the purpose you were born to fulfill. And every single trial, betrayal, and heartbreak has only positioned you closer to that purpose. Don't see this exposure as an ending. It's a new beginning. The kind that doesn't come with noise, but with clarity. The kind that doesn't need to be explained to anyone, because heaven itself has already confirmed it. This is where your spirit begins to rest. Not because everything is perfect now, but because the lies are no longer hiding in the corners of your life. You are finally seeing the truth, and that truth is walking you gently into a freedom that cannot be taken away. You are not going back to who you used to be. You are moving forward with power, with truth, and with the unshakable covering of Jesus Christ over your heart. The enemy wanted your heart to remain heavy. He hoped you would bury your pain so deep inside that you'd never rise again. But God said no. He said, "Enough. You've suffered long enough. You've cried long enough. You've stayed silent through the emotional chaos for far too long. This is not the time to hold back anymore. This is the time for release, for restoration, for rising. Because even though someone close to you tried to harm you, they could not touch your purpose. And though your heart may still carry pieces of confusion, heaven is slowly stitching those pieces together with something eternal, grace. The grace to start again. The grace to breathe deeper. The grace to finally let go without guilt or fear. This message isn't asking you to erase your memory. It's inviting you to walk through it with new strength, the kind of strength that only comes after walking through something you didn't think you'd survive. God never allowed you to be broken for no reason. He knew that in time, your healing would become a testimony, not just for you, but for others still sitting in the darkness you've just come out of. He's not only lifting you up, He's preparing to use your voice. The same voice that was silenced. The same voice that trembled under doubt. That voice is rising with holy boldness, not to condemn, but to comfort. Not to shame, but to shine with truth. The enemy played his cards, thinking he could use someone close to your heart to break your spirit. But heaven had already secured your spirit in a place the enemy could never reach. You are divinely preserved. And even when you didn't feel strong, you were being carried by the one whose strength never runs out. Jesus was there in every moment. Not distant, not watching from afar, but leaning in close, whispering strength into your soul even when your eyes were filled with tears. You may never fully understand why they tried to harm you. And that's okay. Because your peace doesn't depend on their reasons, it rests in God's promise. And His promise is clear: no weapon formed against you will prosper, and every secret plan against your peace will be overturned by His power. You don't need to retaliate. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to beg for explanations. God is your defender, and He has already spoken on your behalf. This is the season where healing flows through every part of you. Emotional healing. Mental healing. Spiritual healing. It's happening even now, as you take in each word. You are not who you were at the beginning of this message. You are stronger. You are clearer. You are safer. And it's not just because the truth has been revealed, but because God has begun a deeper work in you, one that no one can undo. The love of God is wrapping around your heart like a gentle fire, warming the cold places that were left untouched for too long. That fire is not to burn you, it's to ignite the parts of your soul that forgot how to feel, how to believe, how to hope again. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. And you are not too broken to receive what God has for you next. Heaven is calling you into peace. Not just temporary peace, but the kind that stays. The kind that doesn't depend on who stays or leaves. The kind that doesn't shake when circumstances change. This peace is rooted in truth. It is born in love. And it flows from Jesus himself, the one who stood in front of every lie and said, "No more." The one who looked at your pain and declared, "It ends here." And because it ends here, you are free to move forward. Not in fear. Not in doubt. But in purpose. God still has plans for you, beautiful, holy, unstoppable plans. And no one's betrayal can remove your name from those plans. You are stepping forward, not with baggage, but with wisdom. Not with wounds, but with healing. Not with heaviness, but with the light of heaven guiding every single step you take from this moment on. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. Type 555 to receive blessings and miracles. You are not alone. Even if the truth left you feeling isolated. Even if the exposure of that person's identity left you shaken. You are surrounded by angels. You are being watched over by a God who never sleeps, never forgets, and never changes. And He is walking with you now, into a life filled with peace, clarity, and strength. This restoration is not loud. It doesn't need to be. It comes in quiet waves that begin in your spirit, gently washing away the residue of emotional manipulation and fear. You are being filled with something divine now, something that feels different because it is different. This isn't temporary relief. This is eternal truth anchoring itself in your life, so you no longer fall into the same patterns of heartbreak, silence, and pretending to be okay when you were quietly breaking. You are not broken now. You are brave. You are no longer afraid to face what your spirit always felt but your heart couldn't accept. And that's what real healing looks like. It's not forgetting the past. It's being able to walk through it without letting it define you. And even now, the voice of God is hovering over your life, soft and steady, saying, "You're going to be okay. You are going to rise from this, not just as a survivor, but as someone who has been divinely rebuilt. Every wound is being touched by the hand of Jesus. Every scar is being turned into strength. Every lie spoken against you is being cancelled by heavenly truth. And every person who underestimated the purity of your spirit is being shown that grace cannot be defeated. You gave your heart to people who didn't know how to hold it. You loved deeply, even when it cost you. And while others misread your love as weakness, God saw it as your greatest gift. And now, He's protecting that gift. He's surrounding it with walls of discernment, boundaries of wisdom, and the kind of spiritual clarity that can no longer be clouded by charming words or hollow gestures. Let this moment become your turning point. Not because you forced yourself to move on, but because heaven made it safe for you to. The air around you is shifting. You may not feel it fully yet, but your spirit knows. It feels lighter. It feels less threatened. It's no longer waiting for the next betrayal, the next disappointment, the next heartbreak. That cycle is broken. And in its place, God is building something entirely new. The relationships you will welcome into your life moving forward will be rooted in truth, not convenience. They will be shaped by sincerity, not selfishness. You are no longer available to the people who prayed for your failure in secret but smiled to your face in public. Heaven has removed their access to your spirit, and you don't have to explain it to anyone. God removed them to protect the version of you He is preparing to release. This version of you is not afraid of endings anymore. This version knows that some doors are meant to close so the soul can finally breathe. You are walking into clarity, not chaos. Into peace, not people-pleasing. Into love, not illusions. And the presence of Jesus is going with you, lighting your path step by step, healing every part of you that was touched by the shadow of betrayal. Even if your heart still feels heavy right now, know this: heaven is close. Closer than the pain. Closer than the confusion. Closer than the one who tried to break you. The Holy Spirit is speaking to your heart gently, saying, you can trust again. You can hope again. You can be free. Because this is not the end of your story. It's the unveiling of the purpose that was hidden beneath every tear you cried when no one else saw. The name that caused you pain has no power over you anymore. It was only a tool the enemy tried to use, but now it has been broken. You are walking in spiritual safety. And God is setting a new rhythm for your life, one that isn't dictated by fear, but led by grace. A rhythm that flows with divine timing, with healing moments, and with holy protection. You have always been chosen. Even when others treated you like you didn't matter. You mattered to God. Always. And now, He's bringing you back to yourself. To the pure, powerful, gentle soul He created. And He's surrounding you with everything you need to never fall into the same pain again. You will not repeat this cycle. You will not return to the old version of you. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. Stay in this space. Let the healing continue. Let the voice of Jesus remain louder than the memory of who hurt you. Let His love fill every empty place until there is no more room for fear. You are safe now. You are free. And you are stepping into the kind of peace that no one can take from you. You've spent too many nights blaming yourself, wondering if you misread the signs or gave too much. But the truth is, you gave with love, and love is never a mistake. What was wrong was the way they handled the gift of you. And now, God is making sure that never happens again. The protection around your spirit is not temporary, it is permanent. It's not conditional, it is rooted in your identity as a child of the Most High. And because you are His, you are now being guided into a life where peace isn't just a moment, it's your new home. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brainwave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. There is something powerful happening within you, even now. A quiet courage is being born inside your soul. It's not loud. It doesn't need to shout. It simply stands. It holds. It breathes. You are learning how to remain still without shrinking. How to speak truth without fear. How to trust your spirit even when others try to make you question it. This courage is not man-made. It is heaven-breathed. And it is yours now, forever. Type 222 if you trust that God is with you always. Let the healing continue to rise. Let it touch the forgotten corners of your heart, the places where you still carry silent questions, unspoken grief, and the ache of not being believed. You don't need to convince anyone of your pain. God saw it. God felt it. And now God is healing it. One layer at a time. One breath at a time. One whisper of peace at a time. You are being rebuilt in the presence of God, and nothing in your past has the authority to interrupt what He's doing now. Not the betrayal. Not the lies. Not the delay. Nothing. The power of heaven overrides every plan spoken against your peace. You are not vulnerable anymore. You are not spiritually exposed anymore. You are sealed, covered, and surrounded by angels who will not let harm come near you again. The name that was hidden has been uncovered. But more than that, the trap that was forming around your heart has been dismantled. And not by force, but by truth. The truth that came softly and gently, yet shook every false structure built around you. And now, you are finally free to step into relationships that are honest, sacred, and healing. You are being prepared to receive the kind of connection that mirrors the heart of Jesus, not conditional, not manipulative, but pure and steady. Your softness is not gone. Your warmth has not been lost. But it is being protected now by the wisdom of heaven. No longer will you give your light to those who only seek to dim it. No longer will your spirit bend under the weight of being misunderstood. You are learning now that boundaries are not bitterness, they are love. Love for yourself. Love for your peace. Love for the destiny God has placed over your life. And that destiny is not small. It is not fragile. It is not dependent on who affirms it. It is already spoken, already written, already established. What you're stepping into now is simply the unveiling of what has been waiting for you all along. The healing. The clarity. The relationships that don't make you doubt your worth. The peace that doesn't come and go based on someone else's mood. This is your portion now. And nothing can take it away. You may feel a quiet ache still lingering in your chest. That's okay. Healing is not instant. It is a process, a divine unfolding that walks gently through every room of your soul and wipes the dust from the places you've long ignored. It doesn't rush. It doesn't judge. It simply comes in with light and starts to restore everything that was left in pieces. Let it come. Let the love of God hold you now. Let the voice of Jesus remind you that you are safe. That your heart is precious. That your future is not tied to who hurt you. It is tied to who heals you. And His hands are already at work, crafting a new life from the remnants of what tried to break you. Heaven is not done speaking. And the next part of this journey will reveal just how close your breakthrough really is. What was lost will be returned. What was twisted will be made straight. And what was hidden will be revealed, not to shame you, but to free you. You have fought long enough, often in silence, often with no one understanding the quiet battles raging within you. You've smiled through pain, showed up when you were empty, gave when you had nothing left, and loved when all you received in return was distance and confusion. And yet, you kept going. That strength, the kind that only heaven fully saw, is why you were chosen for this divine moment. You didn't ask for the war, but you were never alone in it. Every step, every sigh, every tear, God was there. And now, the healing you're receiving is not just for today. It's for every day you pushed through when your spirit wanted to collapse. It's for every night you asked God for answers, and the silence felt louder than your prayers. It's for every moment you kept showing grace to those who only offered shadows. This healing is for every version of you that was never fully seen, never fully heard, and never fully protected by people who claimed to care. But now, heaven has taken full command. The identity of the one who meant you harm was not just revealed for closure, it was revealed so you would never again question the voice inside you that felt something was off. That voice wasn't paranoia. It was discernment. And God is refining that discernment now, turning it from pain-born suspicion into spirit-led wisdom. You are learning to trust yourself again, not the self others tried to confuse, but the spirit-filled soul that always knew the truth, even in the silence. You are not naive for loving deeply. You are not weak for giving second chances. You are not foolish for hoping people could change. You were simply living from the place of your God-given compassion. But now, God is giving you something to protect that compassion: clarity. Not the kind that shouts or confronts, but the kind that sees and walks away without fear, without guilt, and without the need for explanation. There is a quiet revolution happening in your life. A spiritual shift where old wounds are losing their grip. Where you no longer have to carry old names, old memories, or old guilt. The person who once had access to your peace can no longer reach the sacred place where God has moved you. Heaven has placed distance between you and harm, not just physically, but spiritually. And that gap is sealed with the blood of Jesus, the covering that no darkness can pass through. The whispers of betrayal that once echoed in your mind are being silenced now, replaced by the whispers of heaven. Whispers that say, "You are safe. You are held. You are loved." Whispers that come not just from angels, but from God Himself, speaking straight into your heart with a love so steady, so unwavering, that it breaks every lie spoken over your identity. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brainwave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. Type 777 if you walk by faith. And I tell you now, in this very moment, a new oil is being poured over your life. The oil of purpose. The oil of restoration. The oil of fresh beginning. You are no longer tied to the pain that tried to define you. God is lifting your name into places where your healing will speak louder than your hurt. You will help others walk out of their own chains, not because you're perfect, but because you survived what tried to destroy you. Do not be afraid to begin again. This time it will be different. This time you are not walking blind. You are walking with heaven's eyes. You are moving with the wisdom that only comes after surviving something deep and sacred. You have seen the dark, and now the light is yours. The light of peace. The light of Jesus. The light of a future untouched by the hands that tried to hold you back. God is lifting you higher, not just so you can rise above the pain, but so you can see the bigger picture. You were not attacked because you were weak. You were attacked because of your calling. Because the enemy saw something forming in your life, a spiritual authority that he feared. That's why he sent someone close. That's why it felt so personal. Because your light is too powerful for darkness to ignore. Amen.